beautiful humans. My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, where we
sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea. Oh, girl, I was off tune, honey. Let me just take a sip. We got little, got your little glitty.
Little glitty here.
Miss Mama is in town again. And guys, today, let me bring it up because it's pretty eye-catching. Let's take, oh, look, Glitty's into it, Mama's into it. We have Nathan Latka, How to Be a Capitalist Without Any Capital, and he is going to break some myths, but the man behind the legends, podcasts, books, TV shows, money. What's up, brother?
Matt,
thank you for
guys,
joining
thank
us.
you for having me.
Shake the hand, bro.
Wait.
And muscle.
Look at these
Dead.
Yes.
It's like, I'm going to just casually sit like this and act like this is my natural position. This is how I just do all my interviews, is just like this.
And this is why it's called spilling the tea. Sipping the tea and you spill it.
Okay, so wait, we got to dive right on in. 19 years old, $119.
Yep.
$119 in your bank account.
Yep.
Take us back. How did you go from $119 to making 10.5 million?
Well, this was a ton of fun. So I was 19 studying architecture at Virginia Tech, and I'm overhearing people graduating going, I have no job. And I'm like, why the hell? I'm going to put myself through 4 years of college and then not have a guaranteed job at the end, right? I don't know. Did you guys both graduate or did you drop out?
No, I went to school. I got a business marketing degree in psychology.
Smart, right? So you're totally reading me right now. You're
I dropped out.
She says to me, Okay, so anyways, realized very quickly this was not going to work, and I said, I've got to figure out how to pre-sell something online. So I started selling Facebook fan pages, and that was the start. My first sale was a $700 sale, and then from there I essentially scaled the company. And this is very fun. My publishers hate this about the book, but on page 243, I got this letter. You guys are going to love this. I'm going to let you read it. I got this letter, so read the date at the top. What's the date say?
October 20th, 2011, guys.
Which was 8 years ago. I'm 29 today, so I was 21 then. And read the highlighted part in the middle.
The purchase price will be up to $6,500,000 and will be paid in the following manner.
Right, so that was an acquisition offer I had to sell my company at 21 years old, right? Basically still in college for that amount. Now, I thought my dick was big and I walked away from the deal. Biggest mistake.
My dick's big now.
Biggest mistake of my life, right? Biggest mistake of my life. But what happened was we kept growing the business, and on page 6 you see my tax returns 3 years later, where we hit $1 million in sales, and I kept scaling the business before ultimately selling it. We raised capital at a $10.5 million valuation, sold it, and now we were getting into podcasting, talking to people like you, writing books, having a lot of fun.
Well, damn.
Listen, I think you're...
Mama, what do you think about that?
This attitude, this vibe that you bring to set today,
Yes.
I think is half the reason your success has taken you so far. And I'm sure you haven't even scratched that surface yet. I want to kind of tackle the book first and then head down to you've got so many projects. Let's tackle the book.
Deal.
I like the fact that basically it's like the 360 fuck you to what people think the rules are.
Yep.
And it's literally like, you think you know this is the formula. There is no formula. I'm going to turn it on its head.
Yep.
One of them that I really connected on was, and I think it's important to, because I think it's generally what people think about, when you have a product, when you have something, you market to everybody, and that you're going to be successful. Can you touch on that? And I love the blunt attitude that you have because everybody doesn't have money.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the average wealth in America, the average person is worth about negative $4,000. So if you sell to the average person, well, they have no money to spend on your product. That's a shitty market to sell to, right? So what we want to do is find a niche, go all in on the niche, and then sell like hardcore to those folks. And so, I mean, that was one of the things we did in the what we did in the book. But I mean, what I tried to do in the book, because by the way, I'm a horrible writer. I mean, I can barely write. So the only reason I got a book deal is because my podcast passed 10 million downloads, and authors who came on sold books. And they're going, I mean, you're in publishing. They go, oh, if Nathan can sell other people's books, he could sell his own.
Exactly.
Right? That's the only reason. They don't even care about can you write, basically, right? So
Did you fail English? Is that something I
was
read?
not good at English. My professor in high school, his name was Mr. Bone.
Mr.
Flex.
Mr. Bone, Facebook. No, Mr. Bone. His name was Mr. Bone. And I'm going, what would Mr. Bone think if he saw this guy that was getting like C's in his high school English class writing a book? And it turns out to be a Wall Street Journal best-selling book. So it did very, very well because I mean, you looked at it, but I put a ton of screenshots in.
It's because it's authentic, and people love vulnerability.
Yeah.
I think that's what we lack. Like, period. People are not okay with like just being 1,000% and keeping it real, you know. So that's why I know it's done really well.
I think it's done well. I mean, I will tell you though, I'm not a very vulnerable guy though. I think I do a lot right. And I mean, I will apologize if I do something wrong, but I just don't do much wrong. So
okay.
I don't lead with a ton of vulnerability. I just I'm like, here's what it is. And if something does go bad where people think it's bad, you just spin the hell out of it, right? And then move forward. And so
That's my job.
That's how a lot of it works. I mean, that is business 101. That's PR 101.
I agree, but I think you lead with conviction. Because
true.
whether you understand, I mean, at 19, you're starting something, you're doing all these things, you have ideas. Your head probably sitting here right now is a million ideas of what you want to do right after you leave from here.
Yep.
In terms of, what's the way that you have podcasts, you have magazines, you did the book, your schedule's insane, it's insane. I mean, he just showed us the phone when he does the podcast, and I'm like,
crazy.
bitch, I thought I was busy. So I'm like, all right, how do you segment? The advice for our viewers, for anybody, and maybe not even in the, the technical business sense of the world, but just every day, how do you find that segmentation to be able to do it all?
Yeah, the balance.
Because it seems like you're doing it all.
Well, what you guys saw was one day, it's Monday coming up, where I do like 30 interviews back to back for the podcast. But what you'll see is the day after is blank, right? So like I batch, so I can be really lazy some days and then really like on other days. But when you look at like my podcast, I interview CEOs every day. It's called The Top Entrepreneurs. And when you look at their calendars, the richer people are, usually the more blank their calendars are. Because what that allows them to do then is when everyone else is working their 9 to 5s and breaking news happens, wealthy people with a blank schedule can react faster than someone else who's at work and can't react till 5 p.m. when they get home. And because they react so fast, they get richer. That's why the rich get richer, because they have blank calendars, in my opinion.
Got it. Okay.
So
That's an interesting
That is
point.
very-
That's a
that is
takeaway. Write that shit down. Can you say that there? Because I think about the rich are getting richer, and that's
poor-
actually
and the poor
like
get more
kind of
poor.
blowing me.
I just
Not blowing me.
He had to pause really fast on that
Everyone
one. He was
flags.
like, oh.
no.
It's blowing me away.
Blowing you away. No, my thesis is the reason wealthy people continue to get wealthier is because their minds are not consumed with their 9 to 5 because they have to make money to put food on the table. They have the freedom to have a blank calendar, which means they can react quicker than anyone else to breaking news. And that speed, that reaction speed, is what allows them to build wealth faster than anybody else. They have money, they make more money, they make more and more money because of it. So the rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
And I think we'll end that on a flex.
Oh. No, unfortunately, sheesh. But one thing that I noticed that you had said, which I could not agree more, is that you point out that people say you have to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But you say you should be focusing on multiple things now. And so can you touch on that of like, what's your, I guess, what is the word I'm looking for? I guess what is your whole thought process behind that?
Yeah. Guys, I want to say on Facebook too, Jennifer, I see you. Devin Thomas, Max, you're watching. Jeremy, I see you just tuned in. Jeremy, by the way, redoing my blog. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. That should be good. But I want you guys to know, I want you guys to know I'm seeing your comments. Christian said, been a while since I listened to Latka. Always great to be back. Alexander said, what's your ultimate goal on launching the book? We'll talk more about that in a second. But first off, to your focus question, I mean, when you look at engineering.
Wait,
Wow,
I'm dead.
you went from
I'm like,
you went 0 to
this is
1,000 real fast.
Wait, CNN, bitches. Yeah.
Look, a lot of people do the Facebook Live and then they also do it in studio, but they never actually talk to the online audience.
I'm into
it.
They tune out. Like,
Guys, just
why
so you
would they
know,
watch? It doesn't make any sense.
Gonna give them like 10 minutes with questions.
Yeah,
with
we'll
them.
do it, and
I
they'll
wanna
have questions for you too.
How
so.
about if you want, we can come back to my question if you want to answer someone's question
Okay.
out there, and then we can come back.
Yeah, so Jason just said, love your content. Jason, thank you so much. Jennifer said, did you not see me here, dude? Side door bleachers. Jennifer, I don't know what you're talking about, but I am into bleachers. Just between you and
Being
me.
underneath the bleacher?
Brian Ortega said, great book, so practical. Guys, guys, this is your chance. I mean, I'm feeling kind of like loosey-goosey today, so I'll be more open than usual. If you've got like an embarrassing question or one you think would make me uncomfortable, now is the time to ask it.
Ask it.
Yes, we want you to spill the tea up in this motherfucker.
So Alexander Rosario, you said, what's your ultimate goal on launching the book? Honestly, the book for me was like it's about scale, right? Like it allows me, like this thing is now in every airport. And at LAX, you'll see it all over the place. And I mean, like the other day, who's Mariah Carey's like boy fling now? The
Which
dancer.
one?
I don't know.
The dancer. Do you know his name?
He was on the reality show now.
Okay,
No.
but anyways, he out of the blue messaged me on Instagram. I was like, dude, saw your book at LAX. I love it.
I'm sure he did.
Is he on Team G?
He's Team anything.
I don't know.
Team M, Team G.
He's on Team Money.
He's
Yes.
Team Money!
Team Chingle Chingle.
Team Money. Look, I'm not in this whole like LA thing. I don't know like all the things. I just learned about like the housewives the other day.
Oh, we're gonna get
Wait,
to that. 'cause
where do you
that's-
live?
I'm in Austin, Texas usually.
Oh, I love Texas.
Oh.
I know craft beers. I'm just learning about like this Lisa Vanderpump thing. So I mean, I'm learning about all the housewives. This is great.
Oh.
Awesome.
So Alexander, answer your question. The reason I did the book is because it allows me to like multiply myself quickly. It adds credibility. Icing on the cake that it was a massive book advance. I think one of the largest book advances for a first-time author under 30. I mean, it was a big advance. And the trick with book publishing is you want to make sure your advance is big enough where the authors have to care or the publisher has to care. Because if it's under like $100 grand and your book does shit, they don't really care. It's a rounding error. But if you get more than like $250,000, right, which I was in that range, they really care about making it a success. Because if they lose all that money, it's not good for them.
Correct.
Totally.
So it was a big advance. It's now out everywhere. We've sold over 16,000 copies, hit #3 Wall Street Journal bestseller, and now it's getting me speaking gigs with Ashton Kutcher on stage 2 weeks ago. I mean, all over the place. So it's doing well.
And where can you
Alexander,
get
does that
it?
answer your question?
Can I
so
touch
tell
on
people where you can get
Alexander?
it.
Yeah, no, I want to touch on because as a publicist, and this is an interesting scope this conversation's taking, you made the good point that this now is a tool.
It's a total
And it's
tool.
a door opener.
Yep.
Because you are and always will be the skeleton of everything, and these are like you're the trunk of the tree, and these everything you're doing is a branch.
Yes,
I'm like-
100%.
If y'all don't have it, you know.
Wes, listen, Wes is in the comments getting a little aggressive. Wes, listen, he says, I don't know what you're talking about, but why seek profit? Why not help people with what you've been blessed with? Not by God or anything, but what you have created. First off, when you say what I've been blessed with, I don't know if you're talking about this big, beautiful comb over or the biceps, but I do have a lot of blessings. I was a privileged white boy born in North America, never had to worry about shelter or home, kind of middle class growing up. Yes, that's an advantage, but I think the best way to help people is not to give to charity, it's to create jobs. Which is why I launched a company in my dorm room, created 40 jobs by the time I was 23, including hiring professors out of school to then help me come run the company. And I think job creation is the best form of charitable giving. So Wes, that is my answer to you.
Ooh!
That's my thing.
And Wes, I would say sharing your knowledge and using this, but I would honestly say that
Wes
you're
is, by the way,
doing.
Wes is a nice guy. He's saying I'm not trying to be aggressive. I apologize. Wes,
We love you.
I love confrontation. I secretly just want my shirt to be ripped off. I love confrontation.
Mama.
All right.
Hello.
All right.
Look at Mama's face.
We can keep. Brian said I've used Heyo for years. Heyo was the company I launched from my dorm room, which is nice because I sold it in 2015. People still use it, which is kind of cool. Last
You have
question.
a legacy.
Last question from Facebook before we go back to you guys. LEI Adiasak said, I know you have money and know what you're doing financially, but tell me why this book isn't just like every single other book out there like this. Aliyah,
I had the same question, so hit us.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm going to show you one page. This is
Okay.
the answer. We can't zoom in on this, but these are. Nobody puts their tax returns in a business book because usually it's a bunch
Donald
of yeah.
Not even.
Usually though, it's some theorist professor writing some outline about how to do business. The whole book is led with proof. This is the tax return. You can go in and analyze it. I mean, you flip forward a couple other pages and you see my board deck. You see contracts, like real contracts I signed to sign $250,000 sponsor deals for my podcast. So, I mean, you guys read it. These are emails that I used to get a free Rolls Royce using my Instagram account, totally free. So I would say the answer to your question is I just led with evidence. And I think that's why it hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. I think it's why it sold 16,000 copies. And I think that's why it's doing so well.
Authenticity. You
Again,
said it.
yeah, being
said
authentic,
it.
being you.
Being me.
You are your own superpower.
What do you guys say? Sipping the tea, dropping the tea, dunking the tea.
Yes, spilling
Whatever
the
you
tea.
wanna do.
Spilling the
Whatever
tea,
you wanna
whatever I
do.
want to do with your tea.
Whatever
that's
you
what-
want to do. I mean, let's keep the questions flowing.
Wait, so going back to the question I had,
Yeah.
because I agree, because I consider myself a queen of all trades. So
Oh, we've upgraded from Jill
to
queen.
queen, and you're a king of all trades.
Yes.
So
And what am I? The jester?
you're my king.
Oh. Wait, ready? Smile. Sorry, everyone. It's a big day for me. Let's continue. Go, Nathan.
So your thought process, because I couldn't get it out. I was like, the thought process of being a multitasker.
Yeah, so the best example I know here is I was architecture when I was in school, and we would always work with engineers, and the engineers would always say, Nathan, like if we were all driving around in LA, what's a bridge in LA? Is there any big bridge?
No.
That's the one going into
Pasadena.
Okay,
The one that people jump off
Let's say the
of.
three of okay. Ooh, too early.
Yeah. No, I was.
But three of us, a little Uber driver, driving over the Pasadena Bridge. If we saw a sign that said, hey, just so you guys know, if winds pass like 35 miles per hour, this bridge has a single point of failure and might collapse. We're not going to go over that frickin' bridge. And engineers design bridges with like 8 points of failure. 8 things have to go wrong at the same time for that bridge to actually collapse. That's why bridges don't usually collapse. So with that in mind, why do most people engineer their lives with a single point of failure? One job, one paycheck, one boss. It makes no sense. So you should never focus on one thing. You should always be a jack of all trades, not a master of one.
Yes.
Can I ask a question on that? Because that's getting my mind. Is there a starter or a tester point? Because I feel like, is there a cap that you can put on? Because I think sometimes if you're trying to do multiple things, your mind can just explode. Because not everyone's predispositioned to be like, I can cut it in like this and cut it in like that. I mean, stress, I think, is a motivating factor for anything, regardless. But how would you start that process? If somebody was like, I want to do more.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Well, guys on Facebook, let me ask you this question real quick. How many of you guys are multitasking, doing multiple things? If you're doing multiple things, do what I call the double tap. Not discount double tap, just double tap. It's the heart and the like at the same time on your mobile device. It's really quick. Just do it real quick and I'll see it come in. How many of you guys are multitasking right now? You have at least 2 sources of income. It can be $1 a month or 10 grand per month. But just out of curiosity, do the little double tap if that's you, Brian, Wes, Brady, Elia. And I don't know if I can actually see those coming in, but I'm going to do it so you guys can see what it looks like. The best way, Matt, that I recommend to get started is to just start with like 2 things, right? So a lot of people are stuck in a full-time kind of 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Correct.
Fine. That's totally cool. Everyone has to start there. I started there flipping burgers at West End Grill and at Virginia Tech. The trick is, you flip burgers?
No, I made muffins.
Yeah, you strike me as a muffin guy. All right, so back to burgers. back to burgers.
I ain't ripping your shirt off anytime soon, baby.
The point is like you want to have a job. Keep your expenses under what the income is as best you can and save. Build a buffer.
Are we taking notes on this?
Yeah, guys, get your pen and paper out. I need my pen and paper.
I was like, hello?
Once you guys have, Wes, I'll get to your question in a minute, but once you have a buffer of at least 6 months of your expenses saved, then you should feel confident enough to like quit the full-time thing, go out and launch 2 or 3 other things, and start kind of de-risking your life by generating multiple streams of income. And this can be, like in the book on page 135, I go through 6 examples of places you can start a side hustle. This is like how to game Thumbtack, Fiverr, TopTal. These are all freelance marketplaces. Anyone with any skill can go list their talent there and get work.
Wow.
It ain't Craigslist, though.
Matt started on Craigslist, and that's totally fine.
I started on Backpage, and they shut me down.
Damn, Danielson.
Kidding. Oh, wait,
Aaron,
do we have questions?
we gotta say hi to Aaron Watson, just joined. Aaron did the beautiful vlog that you guys see on my YouTube account with a back behind the scenes with Ashton Kutcher in Vegas. It's Wes Timbrook said, if we stop trying to create and improve the basics, would we need all the stuff we need now? Wes, I do not understand the question. Please rephrase and ask again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer it. I just don't understand what you're asking. Nothing else right now.
I want to touch on Ashton Kutcher.
Yes.
I mean, you've got so many accolades under your belt.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, so that was actually very interesting how that all came together.
Yeah.
So what happened is I launched the podcast in 2015, The Top Entrepreneurs, past 10 million downloads, get the book deal. Now there's a secret in book publishing. Any of you guys anyone in book publishing? Book publishing, anyone? There's a secret forum. You're in book publishing. Do you know
I'm in PR,
Yeah,
but I know book publishing.
Do you know the secret forum where publishers post the books they've just bought before it's announced to the public?
Are we going to find out?
Well, it's called, I don't know no, I'm asking because I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Publishers Weekly or
the
Publishers
outlet. You're talking the
Forum.
outlet. It's Publishers
It's a forum.
Weekly.
It's a private forum that basically what happens are book people post when they bought a new thing, and TV people will watch that
the
to try
community.
and option.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I
They'll
do know.
see
I
book
do know what it
titles.
is. I'm gonna think on that.
Yeah, but the point is they'll see book titles and go, that might be a great show, let's option it. So the day I got this book deal, like 6 production companies emailed me cold and were like, we'd love to have you stop by the studio and talk about doing a show on your book. And so I went to New
Wow.
York, met with all of them, but I held the leverage because I said, listen, I have my own Facebook show that gets over 1 million views every time. Shark Tank on a good night gets 600,000 views, right?
Correct.
Just for context.
Correct.
Like,
Wow.
I don't need a TV deal. I have no interest in being famous, but if I can be rich and famous at the same time, I'll do that. But if I had to pick, I'd stay rich.
1,000%.
Right.
Because there's people who are rich and people who are famous and have
And broke as hell.
Broke is. Woo.
I would say 90% of them, to
Yeah.
be frank.
A lot.
A lot.
Anyways, we love famous people, by the way. You're great. You have
All
like,
those
beautiful-
housewives?
I mean, that one with the lips is like,
Which one?
holy mackerel.
What-
The housewife with the lips.
Oh, I don't
There's
watch TV.
Rinna!
I guess. yeah.
Rinna!
I don't watch
We love
TV.
you, Rinna.
I don't know.
I'm
That
friends with
TV's
Harry
a
Hamlin.
distraction.
No, when we were watching the other night, she was like dancing in old workout videos.
Yeah, that's Lisa Rinna. Iconic,
her.
iconic.
Kind of lips.
Yeah, they call her the queen of the lips.
Does she
Are
know
they
that?
real?
No, they're not. They can't be real.
They're not real.
I don't even know who you guys
Sucker
are.
punch that
I don't
shit.
know who you
No,
guys
they're
are even
very
talking
large.
about.
I mean, if you were
It's
going
like
to make
the-
out with that, it's probably like a trampoline.
It's like when people do when it's like this.
Well, her husband's like 70, so she fine.
Am I doing the pout right?
That the pout is staying.
Just flex it, baby. You're fine.
is LA
Just flex
Proud.
it, baby.
Anyways.
All right. What,
So wait.
did he rephrase that question?
No, but I want to know what's next for you. What can we you have everything going
I
on.
was going to say, the Ashton Kutcher question. I'll get to that and then talk about
This,
where we're
we
going.
got time. You know what? This is fun.
Cameron
This is,
Goad turned in, Sergey tuned in. Hey guys, here in LA, having a lot of fun, sipping the tea.
We need you to
Wes-
spill some
we
more.
need you to
Sipping
spill it.
the tea. So let me spill the tea
he's a new housewife convert.
on the Ashton deal. So what happened here is the book deal happened, the TV deal happened, and when we were getting very close to selling the TV deal to a network, the producers, which are Cineflix, they produce
Okay.
Property Brothers and those shows, said you should really sign it with an agency. And I said, well, to get the best deal, you want to create competition. So I had WME, UTA, and CAA all basically say why I should sign with them. I met all of them. And CAA pulled out all the stops. And I have a great agent in Ben Levine at CAA, signed with him. He negotiated that deal. And what happened is they said, Nathan, the reason you should sign with CAA is we'll do your speaking, your TV, and your endorsement deals.
Wow.
You got it, inked.
Right? But like I didn't want to give, I already have a speaking business that does like $1 million a year almost. So I was gonna have to put all that under them and they take a percentage.
Yeah.
So I have to trust that they're gonna deliver, and if they don't, there's WME and UTA waiting, right? I mean, that's just how it works. That's how it works.
True.
But I love
true.
CA. They're doing a great job. So they put me on stage there with Ashton at that conference in Vegas, and that's how that deal happened. But we had, Ashton's a great guy. He's doing so many different things. Thorn, which I think is very important, fighting child sex trafficking from user-generated sites. He's basically built code where he will pull these images down automatically if there's any kind of child pornography or things like that in images. So it's actually very important work that he's doing, and we get to talk about that.
There's like there are similarities between the two of you, though. It's like from what he was and what perception was and what is, and half the shit that you don't even know. And that's like you. When I think I found you through our mutual friend, Baruch. And that's why I was researching, and I was like, this is interesting content. And then I started to dig a little deeper, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is like,
You're not even 30.
I don't think you've even
29.
You're still in your 20s.
29 years young. Again, those of you watching on Facebook, we will take questions here. Should I
I
take one
live
real
for him.
quick?
Let's take a question.
Go ahead.
This is from Wes. This is from Wes Timbrook again. Wes, thanks for all the questions. Jason Wheeler, Aaron, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. All right, Wes, everyone seeks more and more. When do we stop? I truly appreciate the things you do by investing in small business, but I'm asking, what is your drive to do this? Wes, here's the thing. You guys play Monopoly when you were young with your family?
I still do.
And you're still friends with your family?
Some.
Okay. Nobody plays board games with me anymore because I'm really aggressive and I
based.
usually win, but everyone's pissed at me at the end. What I'm doing in life right now, whether it's a book, a magazine, a TV show, these are all business board games, and I'm figuring them out. And so playing the game allows me to understand the rule book of that game, figure out what rules to break, and then try and make a best-selling thing. So the magazine now, we have 10,000 software CEOs reading it every month, right? They pay $7 to $10 per issue. You can do the math in terms of revenue. It's a profitable magazine in 2019. So I guess what I would tell you is, Wes, I will never stop because there are infinite amount of business board games to play, and I love figuring them out. Maybe politics is next, although I don't like the scrutiny that comes with that. Maybe more TV, but I don't like doing TV unless I get really rich doing it. There's some private equity stuff that I'm working on with software companies, so maybe we'll go there, but we'll see.
Okay, well the sky has no
Shook us.
limits. I'm
us.
shook. I'm gonna need you to be my life coach.
I was like, I just need a part of this. It's
Well,
so inspiring.
This is super inspiring. And okay, so for like people who don't know where you're at, don't know your social media, can you tell everybody like where to follow you? And
This is something very weird just happened in the comments.
Wow.
Connie Hendricks Pinard said, "Hey Nathan, your dad Ray is my cousin," which is weird. Connie, wait, so who married who and who had babies where and how does that?
We're
relate?
getting live
we're getting
great.
some.
live tea.
It's like real 23andMe.
Oh.
Like, oh my God, I have a long lost relative.
Live tea, people.
This is great.
Connie, explain further.
Yeah, Connie, tell me more. Do we look alike? Do you have like these?
Oh,
too?
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh! Him and these triceps, living his
I know.
best life.
I was like, what was I doing earlier? I was like, I don't know if I can get the camera angle right, but I was
Oh,
turning.
you
some
can, darling.
direction.
No, there.
I was turn this direction.
That way.
Oh, look at this. This is the striation there. This
So
is-
when's the comedy
this
show
is,
start?
This is where you guys
Laugh
plug
Factory.
your health and beauty brand of like whatever supplements I'm taking to make this happen.
Unless they're paying us, honey, don't plug shit.
Yeah.
Okay? I learned that.
You have to pay for it. All right. Wes said life shouldn't be a game. I believe, although I believe your heart is on the right place. Wes, I have maybe the biggest heart you will ever meet in business, but I play tough guy online. That's how I work. Dino said, "How do I get one?" Dino, what do you want?
What one? Oh, this?
Oh, book.
Dana,
Yeah,
you mean this?
where can people find your book?
They can find the book at capitalistbook.com. That's capitalistbook.com. And if you're wondering what I'm worth or if I'm gay or straight, scroll to the bottom and you'll see the FAQ and I will answer all those questions for you.
And then where can everyone follow you at?
The best place to follow me is just at Nathan Latka on Facebook, or you go to Twitter at Nathan Latka. It's just all Nathan Latka. Nobody else owns Latka because it's like a type of Jewish pancake. I don't know if you can know that.
Yes, I do.
Yes, people love eating some latke. Let me just tell you, latkes, I should say.
You're kind of a branding genius.
Am I good at branding?
You
I think
are.
you are, but I think trial and error is a part of the thing. And you're like, damn, there's not much error. And I'm like, shit, and I'm 36. Okay, well. Do we have any final questions?
Yes, Wes said you look like a relative of Seth MacFarlane. I'm not quite
I'll
sure
pay
who
that.
is.
Seth,
Seth
a
is-
little bit. He's
No, I don't think.
a skinnier version.
But Seth MacFarlane is
This
popping.
one, you better check yourself.
I cannot with him. Okay, so we're gonna.
Wait, this is Ariane and this is Matt, in case you forgot whose show this is.
Right? I know, because he just took over our show.
But we love you. Oh my God.
Okay, guys, you can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew and this little
I'm
nugget
shook.
at Glitty
I
Glit.
can't even put it out. You can follow me at Matt Dillon 1983. She's very expensive, baby. So unless you got the coinage,
How much was she?
she was free in a trash
$3.99.
can.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Girl, she changed it. You know what they say? Dogs have the same effect. So I always say she changed my life more than I changed hers. Probably equal. Oh, she's like, girl, let me just stretch it out.
Stretching.
All right, guys.
On that note, until next week on EverTalk TV, you can catch us on Sippin' the Tea.
Thank you. Let's cheers it out, baby.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.